Should be a quick docket. We have 4 cases on the docket, right, Sarah?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And have you checked your email? You haven't heard from anybody? San Jacinto Gas? Am I just getting one person showing up on that case? And which one is that? I got 2 people in the waiting room. Tally. I'm going to bring him in. Go ahead and just get a quick update. First one. San Jacinto Gas. Oh, these monitors. Ever since they cleaned this desk, everything's messed up. Mr. Tally,
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
are you going to be the only one joining us for the San Jacinto Gas versus Terrence Lavinka?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We're on the record in 96 CCV 014674, San Jacinto Gas Transmission Company versus Terrence Lavinka. Mr. Tally, we're here just for a status update. Last time we were here for a DWAP docket. You wanted to look into some things on this, figure out what's going on. Why don't you give the court an update?
May it please the court? Yes, sir. So I have done substantial research into our entities, specifically the one that was the tenant on the farm, to see if an award was ever made. That's really what everyone's trying to get to the bottom of. And I have found no record of any award being made. I did speak to one of our outside counsel that handles condemnation, purely condemnation attorney. And he said that these things sometimes happen. He hadn't seen one this old before. I don't think any of us have. So it's quite odd. But I really would like some guidance from the court on next steps to take, because I don't think we're going to get to the bottom of it until we dig into the records of the pipeline itself.
So what kind of guidance do you need?
First of all, to just ask the court, have y'all handled a situation like this before?
No, I can tell you that right now.
Okay.
When we set up that DWAP docket, we decided to run, I don't know, quite a few different reports to pull as many of these kind of old outstanding cases that have been hidden away. That's the best way I can describe it, for years. Because we've done DWAP dockets consistently every couple of years in this court since I've been here for 10 years. And this case has never come up on a DWAP docket until my new coordinator, who ran a bunch of different reports, found it and found other cases that went back to, I think, the 30s that were still somehow active in my court. That DWAP docket that you were on consisted of, what was it, 600 or something like that? Yeah, 600 cases going all the way back to the 1930s in this court. And for some reason, they had never been picked up. I'm going to kind of lump your case in with those really, really old cases.
Okay.
And I have never dealt with a situation like this, where I have a case this old and there's still something outstanding. And the fact that attorneys even showed up on it was shocking to me to begin with. I just figured a case this old, nobody's going to show up. They're like, oh, it's long gone, done with. And I would just DWAP it off my docket. The fact that you have dug into this and found out that no award has been issued, that's even more concerning and problematic. So,
Yes, sir. I appreciate that background.
You go ahead. No, I was just saying, I wish I could provide you some better guidance on where to go with this case at this point in time. I will say that we've got to get this case wrapped up and figured out at some point in the next 6 months or so. But I'm at a loss. I really am. I've never had a situation like this.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that background. That actually makes make a lot more sense why we received what appeared to be a random notice, but it makes sense now. Y'all were going through that process, getting these old cases off the books. One of the things I can say is that one of the good things in this case is that we are still the tenant farmer on that farm and have been since prior to 1996. And so from our side, it's all very consistent. Now, one of the things that I think might have happened, that does happen sometimes in these pipeline cases, especially condemnation case, is that you have the parties of the landowner and the tenant, naturally. We don't own the land and we don't own an interest in the land. I have a suspicion that what might have happened was from the pipeline company side, a land group error, so to speak, where they gave the entire award to the landowner, perhaps, and didn't give us our crop damages. I don't know that. I'm thinking that what I need to do, I've done some Railroad Commission research, and oddly enough, the operator of the pipeline actually changed in the last 5 to 6 weeks, which has made it even a little more complicated, but that's not uncommon. I bet this pipeline has changed operators at least 5, 6, 7, 8 times since 1996. I think what I need to do, tell me what you think, Your Honor. I think I need to reach out to the current operator, who is Enterprise Products now, um, and dig into what they have on file in their accounting records to see perhaps what award they show for that specific pipeline, if at all.
Okay. Well, I say go forth
Okay.
and figure out what you can. Look, I'll say this is going to be a task on your part. It's a case this old. You're going to have trouble locating records and things like that. I mean, I didn't even have a complete case file in front of me because the case is so old. Some of these records aren't even scanned into the system. They're over in storage somewhere. I don't even know where. So good luck. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this for maybe like 3 months out. Just get an update from you where
That'd be
you
great.
think what you have found, and then maybe get a direction of where this case is going, either to just a conclusion and maybe some sort of award, or just we're going to move the other direction and just be done with this case. So
Yes,
just,
sir. Yes, sir.
all right.
Okay, so 3 months, another
Yeah.
status hearing?
Yeah, Sarah, give me a date.
February 11th, which is Zoom, or February 25th, which is in person.
Do you want it in person or Zoom, Mr. Talley?
Whichever's easier for you.
I can do both. It doesn't matter.
Um, let's do Zoom. And can we, if we need to change it to in person, depending on the parties involved, perhaps we can?
We can do that. February 11th at what time again? At 9 a.m.
Perfect. And one just procedural question. As I'm engaging the group that is Enterprise Products, I venture a guess that if something does come of it, they're going to send an attorney. For the Zoom document, I guess I provide that to them so that if we do have a Zoom hearing, they consent to it. Is that the way that works?
Yeah, just send them the link and provide them a notice of the hearing. It's a status hearing. That's all it
Gotcha.
is. I'm not setting any motions or anything that right now, unless you have a motion that you want to file and get heard, then you need to notify us immediately and let us know, and then provide notice to all opposing parties. So
Perfect. That's all I needed. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
thank you, Mr. Talley. Have a good day.
Yes, sir. You too.
It's going to take some getting used to putting 25 at the end of these dates. mess. All right, let's move on to the next case. Do I have anybody in the waiting room for A+ federal? Okay. All right, let's move into that case then. All right, we're on the record in 23 CCV 072949 Jay Jensen versus Farron Sultan DBA Zaza Motors LLC. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. All right, let me get announcements from the attorneys, so plaintiff's counsel.
My name is Adam Tabak. I'm here for the plaintiff, Jay Jensen.
Good morning, Your Honor. I represent the defendant, the dealership Zaza Motors.
We are
Mr. Sultan.
Thank you. We're technically here for a entry of a final judgment in this case. Where do we stand with this matter?
Your Honor, we settled it at mediation, and right now we're just trying to finalize and finish up our settlement.
Okay. When was your mediation?
I don't remember. It was probably 3 months ago. It's been a while. There's been some delays. I talked to Mr. Overstreet yesterday, trying to get him to put a fire into his client to get this thing moving. So I'm trying to find you the date right now.
Yeah, I see in your...
Judge?
Go ahead, Mr. Overstreet.
Excuse me, Judge. Yes, there was a payment that was supposed to be made, and of course my client needed time. Counsel advised me that he did not think my client was in compliance. I called yesterday afternoon, and I called again this morning, and I texted my client. I have not heard back from my client. Obviously, there is a settlement agreement, and my client has not performed, and certainly we don't oppose a reset of the status conference, or certainly, I don't think that the plaintiff's case should be dismissed because we didn't make a payment.
All right. Well, what will happen is this case will be set for trial. I'm not going to leave this just hanging out there in my docket. I know your mediation took place on June 5th.
Yeah, I just looked, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I just looked.
Yeah. So it's been quite some time since the mediation. Y'all settled this. So
I agree. I would like to get it done myself.
Sarah, give me a date in December, if we have anything. Here's what I'm going to do, gentlemen. I'm going to set this for a bench trial. January 28th at 9 a.m. At 9 a.m. I'd like this to be done and wrapped up for that date.
Yeah, me too, Your Honor.
That's more than sufficient time since the mediation. That's over 6 months since the mediation. Does everybody understand, Mr. Tabak?
I do understand, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
Mr. Overstreet?
I understand. I mean, obviously, there's a binding settlement agreement, so I'm assuming that if my client doesn't perform, we'll just submit a judgment consistent with that mediation. I mean, there's nothing to try. I mean, we've completely settled the case.
Okay.
It's just a question of whether we perform. But
Yeah, I agree with that. That's fine.
Mr. Overstreet, you broke up a little bit. What was that last statement you made?
There's nothing to try. This case is settled. It's a binding settlement agreement. And what I would suggest is that if my client doesn't perform, we'll just submit you a judgment consistent with that mediated settlement agreement. There's nothing to try.
Submit a judgment consistent with that mediated settlement agreement.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll see y'all in January.
Well, no offense, Your Honor, but I hope not. I hope we get this done.
Okay. Well, I hope so as well.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Y'all are free to go.
Judge, Judge, I want to thank the court for allowing us to appear by Zoom. It's a huge convenience to us.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Not a problem. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Bye.
What was that date again, Sarah? January 28th? Thank you. Do we have anybody else? Let's bring her in. Ms. Tompkins, good morning. Can you
Good
tell me
morning.
good morning. Can you tell me what case you are here on?
Yes, I'm on case number 22 CCV 070553. It's A plus Federal Credit Union versus Elizabeth Fleming.
And who do you represent?
A plus Federal Credit Union.
Okay. Then we're on the record in 22 CCV 070553, A plus Federal Credit Union versus Elizabeth Fleming. We're on a motion to reinstate. I've read the motion, but please, Ms. Tompkins, present your argument.
Of course. So we filed this motion to reinstate because the dismissal order or the dismissal scheduling order was just misplaced at our office. So we weren't able to get it on our system, and therefore we just kind of were overlooking it because we didn't have it in our system. So we did not know that it was dismissed. Therefore, we moved forward with that default judgment that we did submit. And then we realized that the case was dismissed. And so that's why we filed this motion to reinstate. And then we're hoping to have it reinstated and then move forward with that default motion as well.
Sarah, what hearing dates do we have? Let's do Judge White. How quickly can he hear it? If I set you, now let's see, anything farther out? It's too soon. Okay. All right, Ms. Tompkins, I will grant your motion to reinstate, but I want that motion for summary judgment heard quickly. I can get you in front of my associate judge on December 20th at 9 a.m.
That is perfect, Your Honor.
Right, I expect it to be heard on that date.
Mm-hmm.
You notice the opposing side.
Of course.
Motion to reinstate. I'll sign the order here shortly.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Tompkins. You're free
We
to
have
go.
a great Thanksgiving as well.
Happy Thanksgiving. There's nobody in the waiting room. Let's go back to this Discover Bank case. I'm D1, on cause number 23, CCV 073-140, Discover Bank versus Jada Monroe. I'm DWAPing that matter. Thank you.